Hello, YouTube peoples. Every time I push play, Redneckia starts back up. This is like the nation of big trucks out in this particular direction. And I have 3 times now hit start, and then you hear, and I'm just like, stop, delete. I wait. It sounds like it has gone down the road, which it probably has. Truck number 1 probably has. And then I'm like, it's safe. Hit play. And more diesel. You know, you hear the diesel like, and I'm like, listen, cowboys, don't you have some horses to tend to? Some cows that need assistance. I believe they have made their way. Now it is safe for us to do our weird, hippy trippy, pie in the sky, woo 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 la la. Tarot. Let's do. Vagina crystals have already been put in place, which means God is ready to talk to me. Obviously, I say that with a fair level of irreverence. Whatever. Beep, 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 beep. Here we are. Putting this down. Success. Okay, here we are. We're ready. So, first of all, hopefully this reading doesn't go completely sideways because B has got me on that hype shit, and by that hype shit, I just mean like hype songs that haven't really even been on the radio for like a decade, but yet it's just one of those things when you hear it again, you're like, oh my god, back into my day, and then you get lost in that world. I have been firmly lost in that world. My Thai tea amped up on my caffeine, man. It was caffeine and T-Pain, and I was doing the most. I regret nothing. So, oh, scheisse, there we go. So, vagina crystals in place, tarot cards of the gods out on the table. It's yeet or get yeetin'. Tell me what else we need to get spiritual up in here. That's all we need. I think it's going to be a great day. So tomorrow, January 28th, depending on when you see this video, that's why I said the date, January 28th, is the full moon in Leo. I like Leo energy, Leo rising. So something that I understand. So anyway, I wanted to do another collective spread for like new moon energies. Like what are the new moon energies bringing in for us? New moon, wow. Full moon energies bringing it to us, because the full moon lasts for about like 2 weeks until it waxes into wanes into a new moon, and then it waxes into a full moon, wanes into a new moon, yeah. So on and on in perpetuity until the moon falls out of the sky, until we realize that it's actually a government spy base that the aliens watch us in. Right? Did y'all see conspiracies like that on TikTok? I've heard they're out there. Anyway, I have fun with all that shit. Who cares? So let's talk about those full moon Leo energies. Let's do that. Let's do that. And Leo energies, that's some boss energy coming in. That's why I like Leo. Leo's got some boss energy. They're like, yeah, the sun rules me. I am the bomb. I swear to God. We'll take it. We'll take it. The very top card, the situation, the moon. I would like for y'all who have very diligently watched my videos for, some kind of punishment gluttonous reasons. In my very last video, 2 days ago, for the energies coming in for the 3rd year of January, the very last year of January, the situation was the moon. And here we are again with the situation being the moon. Maybe I shouldn't keep doing these collective energies because, spirit could just be like, bitch, we told you. I said what I said, bitch. I think that's what's being shared here. If I do crossing and it turns out with the same thing that was crossing the last time, what was the last? It doesn't matter. I don't need to memorize all the readings and all the cards. There's just that's silliness. Okay, so the moon being the situation, which is exactly what it was the last time. This again is feeling like people might be in this mindset of I feel like there's more. I feel like there's more to this. There's something, an element of this that feels kind of clandestine, kind of surreptitious. You like these $3 words? Hidden shit. Hidden shit. You're doing some shady hidden shit. Might not actually be shady, but I think people have kind of this natural, almost distrusting paranoia that can kind of linger of when's the other shoe gonna drop? Is this, like, what is it kind of a thing? And if that's not your energy, if you're kind of in like, oh, whatever, what comes may come. Tell me what drugs you want. I will buy them on the black market. I probably won't. But, I will be tempted. I will be tempted. So our situation again is kind of this like confuddlement. So crossing the situation, what do we have? Crossing the situation for our full moon energies. Crossing the situation. Full moon energies. Crossing the situation. Sure. Sure. You betcha sure. Let's just do. To me, that's one of the funniest accents that I've heard is like that Minnesota. Minnesota accent. I can't do it worth a shit. I can't do any accents really because the hick town is like really deep inside my vocal cords. It's like get the hick unhick it. I can't unhick it, man. I just can't. Redneck is firm. So crossing the situation for our full moon energies. Okay, crossing the situation. She has come up several times in my last few readings, although both readings she was in the upright, but now she's in the reverse. B and I, we did a reading together where this came up and we were talking. This was kind of like a Kamala card in my political reading. Not saying that has to be what this is right now. And but it's in because we joked around with the little soft head bird being Biden. I know I keep bringing up that joke, but every time I see this now, it's like I can't unsee it. You know what I mean? That's all. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. But now we have this card, the crossing situation. She's in the reverse. So I don't know if this is a Kamala card. I'm not saying it is because I wasn't necessarily wanting the reading to go off the rails in that direction. Full moon energies being like the next 2 weeks, kind of what is it? But there is this kind of confusion or distrust or paranoid kind of like, what is hidden here? What has not yet been illuminated? And it's a potentially emotional type thing because the moon is something that kind of governs our emotional side. For this being a full moon read too, I just thought of this full moon read, and this is a full moon. And honestly, he's looking a little bit disgruntled. Like this is kind of what I imagine my spirit guides to look like. Like, girl, we done told you how many messages and you still getting it twisted like this? You still got it all the way fucked up? That's what it looks like, man. That's what it looks like. But the situation crossed by the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This is kind of a feeling of just if we're taking it to an internal thing, not making this a Kamala card, because if this were a Kamala card, it would kind of mean like something that puts her at a disadvantage or something that might kind of flip her topsy-turvy where she's like, oh, okay, I'm off on the back foot here. I'm kind of destabilized. Something isn't going well for me. Like that would be that if it was. But if we're taking this on a more internal way, this is kind of like the self-sufficiency card. This is like, oh, I got mine. Like I'm in control of my world here. Don't worry about me, ho. Like that's kind of what this is. Like that's what she's feeling. In the reverse though, not so much. So there's this like, what's come next? I do not trust. I'm side eye a little, and then the feeling of like a little bit unsure in yourself, a little bit shaky about what can I do. My empowerment might be a little bit uprooted. There's just this kind of lack of, I don't want to say lack of confidence, even though inherently that's kind of what it is, but it's it's a bit of a wobble or a falter in terms of feeling self-sufficient, or again, resiliency. I know I keep bringing up resiliency, but I swear to God, that's a theme. That is a theme because it is like a predominant message that comes through, because she is all about, I trust myself, I believe in myself, I am capable, I hold down my own fort. And in the reverse, it's like, I'm not convinced that any of those things, like I have the power for any of those things. So it's just a bit of a little wobbly type energy. Doesn't mean that you're actually incapable, or that the situation itself is an incapable type thing or a disempowering type situation. It just is indicative that the situation itself feels like a challenge, or something that's facing it or confronting it right now is a feeling of wobble, So hidden things, wobbly things. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, so coming in for us, the unknown variable. The unknown variable, okay. Well, it almost flipped and it didn't, so I'm about to put the main away. So I'm not doing this all the whole video. Okay, right. So let's see here. Coming in for us, the unknown variable. Unknown variable for this full moon energy. The unknown variable. The Magician, but the Magician is in reverse. Now, the Magician is typically a Gemini, and the moon, by the way, is Pisces, can be Cancerian as well. But the Magician being a Gemini card, in a past reading I did, again, not trying to get political, but this was the Trump card and this was the Kamala card. So I can't help but to at least make mention of it in this video. So if it is an external thing, then sure, fine, it's an external thing. But if this is an internal thing, I can read it internally too. But in terms of an external thing, if it is, and this is Kamala and Trump, neither one of them are like, say, in their right minds or in a power position. It looks like both of these, I don't know why Trump would be coming up again. If it's like, hey, you're kind of old news at this point, like you're not in the club anymore. Why are you still relevant? Like, now we already know my political opinions is I don't care for anybody. I'm a little bit nonconformist in that front, so no hate, no shade to anybody who likes anybody else. But if that was a Trump thing, this is kind of an indication of something that's really shady, really narcissistic, and kind of like below the belt, not cool. Like, not cool, dude, not cool. And not saying that this would be a Trump thing at all, but when you see the Magician in the upright, this is all about like tricks and illusions and, sometimes like personal power and good things, but like magic for good, and this is like kind of more of the dark magic type energy, the dark magic feel, where it's kind of like you're doing some shifty, shady stuff and it's not quite cool. Very manipulative, like when I say narcissistic, it's my way or the highway manipulation type of energy. So it's like I'm pulling strings, the puppeteer, pulling strings and doing things like that. And it's like, not cool though, not cool. And for this to be something that's coming in, but it's the unknown element. This is also a card internally that can lend itself to be more of like a disempowering energy. And again, I was already speaking of this being internally kind of like a disempowering, like wobble energy. And this is about the same, a disempowering, I don't feel like I have the tools or the resources to do it, to get it done, to, make the trick happen kind of a thing. It's like I'm supposed to pull off this trick. I'm supposed to somehow pull a rabbit out of a hat and make it fucking work. But I'm not feeling like I even have the tools or the tricks or the resources to even be able to make that happen. So there is a bit of disempowerment that's coming through here. Again, I don't want this to sound so doom and gloomy, because a lot of this that I'm speaking of right here is more perceptual. It could be more perceptual, and perception feeds reality, but perception isn't indicative of objective truth. Let me unpack that for just a second. So, although I am saying perception can be reality, what you perceive to be real, you're going to believe that it is actually real. You're going to believe that it's true, that it's reality. But your perception of an event is not always objective truth. So it's like I can perceive everybody hates me and everybody else is like, no, that's irrational. Like, we don't all hate you. Like, what in the world, you know? But if I perceive that to be true, I'm going to see it in all of these interactions that I have. That will become the reality that I adopt. But it's not based in objective truth, it's based in perception. So, this to me, I'm reading, it sounds kind of doomy gloomy, but it is still at the end of the day a perceptual issue. It doesn't mean it's objective truth. So, if you feel wobbly or disempowered or things like that, that just means that we have to kind of zoom out of our own self-identified bubble big enough, wide enough to see all the options and all the avenues of empowerment that we're not seeing here. We can't see it here, but we can see it here. And we're like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that I had that option and that option, and I didn't realize I could do this and I could just do that. You know, sometimes that's why we bring in outsiders to kind of see it for us, because they're not as identified and they're here. So just wanting to bring it like that because I don't want it to go too south. I mean, damn. Let's just get a clarifier on it though, because everybody's curious. I know everybody's curious, and if y'all aren't curious, I'm curious, and I'm pulling the cards. So, nana boo boo, I'm doing it. Right? People are like, bitch, you cray. Hush your mouth. Click out of my video then. I'm not that combative, I swear. Okay, I just got done talking about like maybe bringing in other people to help you see the bigger picture when you're too identified with the smaller picture. And this is what comes out, which is the exact opposite of the advice I just gave. This is kind of the feeling of people are not playing well together in the sandbox. So honestly, that doesn't surprise me coming alongside the Magician in reverse, because we just got done talking about narcissism, my way or the highway, manipulation, shady pulling strings, where it's kind of like, not cool, dude, not cool. Right next to, I won't cooperate. I'm not a team player. Me, my way or the highway. Like, that is what this card in the reverse is. You know, this is collaboration and we're all getting together and we're as a team, and this is I know best. I know best. Sometimes that's actually true, but when you're pairing it with the Magician in reverse, I'm not seeing this as kind of like a go for it solo. This is kind of like, oh, that doesn't feel too good. Now, if we're taking this on an internal plane instead of making that kind of a Trump issue, on an internal plane, this again can be the tendency, the knee-jerk tendency to isolate. So sometimes we do that whenever we are at our weakest. So we're feeling insecure or wobbly, and we're feeling kind of in a weak position. Sometimes we're like, oh God, that's when I pull away the most. I isolate the most, and I push other people who are there to help me. I push them away. One, sometimes because I don't want to be a burden, right? I just don't want to be a burden on them. So I'm not going to unload all my problems on them. They have their own problems, you know, or you're embarrassed of your problems. I should be able to do this. I should be able to figure it out. I should be better than this. And all of this, like, you know, denigration of self. You know, you're diminishing yourself, and it's kind of, you know, it's cruel, honestly, but it's another way where you create space between yourself and others. This can also just be a bit of defensiveness too, like, no, you cause me pain, and because I am in pain, I have to find a source of the pain to protect myself, and if I think it's you, then you're getting pushed away. I'm going to distance myself from you, and I'm going to isolate because I perceive you to be the root of my pain. So it can be that as well. So all of these internal things can be at play. Just putting out all these possibilities. I know tarot is full of possibilities. This is a collective general read. It can go a lot of ways. Just saying. All right, so let's just go at the top. Let's see here what is coming in for us. This is kind of behind the scenes energy too. So if this is the big stuff like Trump stuff and manipulation, we may not necessarily hear about all of that because this is kind of the unknown variable. Sometimes I think of this as like what's behind the scenes that we may not be privy to, but what's coming in for us that we would be privy to, something that we would be consciously aware of, what's coming in for us. Full moon energy coming in for us. Full moon energy coming in for us. Whoa, okay. The Chariot in reverse. Now, this is a Cancerian energy. I already told you the moon can sometimes read as a Cancerian energy too, though typically Pisces. But this is the Cancerian card. And in all three positions here, we've had major arcanas, which usually denotes some kind of big energy, not something that people would be missing. This is kind of like, hello, hi, knock on your door like the police, okay, I see you here. So when I see this card and I see it in the reverse, this to me, if we're going very literal, can be issues with transportation or supply lines has come to me in the past, and I feel the need to say it. Some issues with supply issues, like for some reason, some kind of like breakdown in supply issues, or like transportation kind of coming to a halt, an issue with transportation, something coming up with transportation being kind of at a dead stop. But it could be, again, less literally, an issue that feels like it's kind of at a dead stop. So energy that doesn't feel like it's moving. So let's move this back a little bit more too, so I have more room for my cards. They're hanging off the table. Okay, so energy that feels like it's not really moving. And when I see this again, I'm seeing kind of this interplay of the light and the dark and the karmic feel of it all. I always feel a sense of karma with this card because of the yin yang right in the middle. So let me get a clarifier. Okay. Oh, gosh, this reading wants to be a little bit heavy. But it doesn't have to be bad news. God, I don't want this channel to be doom and gloom. I want this to be an issue where we're talking about real stuff, but at the end of the day, we're coming back to, but this is what we can do about it. You know what I mean? So anyway, 9 of Cups in reverse. So what's coming in for us with the full moon can be a bit of a feeling like, if I'm going internally, a feeling where we're kind of at this stop with things that feel like wishes or desires for us. So this is kind of like the emotional fulfillment, the wish fulfillment kind of card, the card of desire, and this is kind of like full stop. So when I see these in conjunction, it just feels like there might be some kind of impediment taking us away from emotional fulfillment. Like maybe we had like a moment of relief, like we had this momentary relief type feeling, but then there was some kind of a monkey wrench that came in there and derailed it a little bit. Now, derailing it doesn't mean that it makes it impossible and that you can never have this emotional fulfillment. But when I see this, I inherently think disillusionment. It feels kind of like a disillusioning type energy. Maybe like things are not what they seem, or the feeling of, again, I thought it was this way, but it turns out it's actually that way. And it's kind of like, how do I reconcile that in my brain coil? So, it ends up making you feel like, this doesn't feel like a victorious situation, something that has you feeling a little bit underdogish. Again, that seems to be coming through with some of these energies, just the wobble. It's just a bit more of a wobble. I do want to see another card on that because I feel like it would be helpful. Another card with that, right? Another card with the wobble. And what? I'm really curious, especially with the 9 of Cups, like pertaining to what? What exactly are we looking at here? Right? Okay. So we got the Page of Pentacles, but we have it in the upright, which is a positive way to see the Page of Pentacles. So again, this feels like, and this typically can be like an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but seeing this being like what's coming in for us. you're seeing something that's like kind of new and in its infancy, so to speak. So it is a new way, a new idea, I keep thinking a new way of doing things. And it's being presented to us. Hey, here's a new way. Here's a new idea, a new way of doing things. Perhaps in this situation, it's like so new that people might not trust it or might not feel like they understand exactly how it's going to go or exactly what it's going to do, because there is the sense of, it's kind of stopping and there's disillusionment, but it's like, something is coming in. There is some kind of like earthbound offer that's coming in, some suggestion, some plan, something like that that's coming in, that's very earth based, whether it's money based, politically based. This could be like, hey, we're gonna do like a different political structure, or we're going to do a different emotional, not emotional, economic type structure, or there's some kind of structural change, and this is an idea, and it's being presented. And I don't know if people are necessarily trusting of it because they don't understand all the aspects of it. So there feels like some kind of like, do not cross go, do not collect $200. There is, I have so many different ideas that are coming up right now. They fall a little under, too much under tinfoil hat. One more. Directionality with that. Okay. Directionality with that. Well, this doesn't really give us a direction, but it gives me an idea. Okay. The Hermit in reverse. Virgo energy. Again, with the clandestine, secretive, hidden type energy. If I'm being honest. Because we have the moon here, which indicates something that feels a little hidden. We have the magician in reverse, which is, like something shady, something shifty. We have something here that's showing up as like a full stop. And again, with a fourth major arcana that's like, we're not wanting this to see the light of day. There's some feeling of something that's not being exposed. The light is not being shown on this. It could be something where it's like, this is something that's being brought in the dead of night, Here again, like we're talking about something that's nighttime. The moon, the card of the moon is something that's nighttime. And when you see nighttime cards, you could literally talk about things that are coming in the night, to the dark of the night. But what it really is talking about is the idea of secrecy and something that's hidden, something that's behind the scenes. It's not something that's completely evident to the majority, to the people. There is something that's just naturally hidden about this. And this is, I already said it's Virgo energy, but Virgo is an earth sign. So there's a connection with that. But this is also a kind of a call to saying, like, very similar to this card, there's a bit of like isolationism, where it's like people aren't really communicating effectively, or they should get out of hermit mode to communicate effectively, to reconnect. And I don't know if that's necessarily happening. I think that, again, I'm seeing something here that looks like it's trying to present forth a new way, but I'm not seeing people bite it. People are not seeming to go for it right now because there is a bit of hesitancy and trepidation and perhaps distrust. That's what we've been seeing in the last couple of readings, and I think that the new moon energy is going to kind of carry that through. And I think that's a fair energy for people to have, because it's like, listen, we just went through the fucking ringer. We've been through it, so I'm going to be sitting here kind of like, where's your facts though? I need some facts. That's kind of what it feels like. So, and I don't know a bunch of world players, people that, and what their signs are. I don't know that. So these could actually be people that I'm like, I don't know. So if that's something that people in the comments are watching this video, they're like, that sounds kind of like the storyline. by all means shout it out because I just don't know. So let's talk about the challenge. What's the challenge? Right. That came up, and that was a trump card the last time it came up. In the challenge position, right? Okay, I have 2 cards here. 2 cards. Challenge position. That's technically 2 cards too, but I didn't see the card under it. So, challenge position. Okay, so we have 2 more major arcanas, the Emperor upright and Temperance upright, and then we've got Miss Queen of Cups, which is our water sign, our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces type energy here. This is a temperance energy. Of course it's a temperance energy. Read the damn card. It's a Sagittarius energy, and this is an Aries energy. Some people even read it as Taurus, but typical Aries energy. But this has come up to me in the past as a Trump type energy because, again, it's feeling like, you know, I'm the boss. I'm the one on the throne. I'm the one that calls the shots. You know, just that very I'm in my full power type energy. Not saying that it will be a Trump thing. Not at all. But it is interesting that this is a Trump type energy. Sagittarius being temperance. I do believe Biden is Sagittarius. It is a thought. It is a thought. The Queen of Cups, here's a female that, again, I said this could be a water energy like Scorpio. I do believe Kamala is a Scorpio. For some reason that feels like, let me just Google. Let me Google before I talk completely out of my ass. Before I talk out of my ass. Let's see here. Okay, Kamala Zodiac. Say something for me. No, it says she is a Libra sun sign. Libra, I don't even know if we have any Libra on the board really, because Libra is air. You know this. No, that's not cool. Cool. That's why I Google myself. Make sure I don't wreck myself. Okay, so these could be players, and again, it doesn't have to be like technically it could be a Kamala card, even if it's Cups energy. You don't have to think because like Trump, for example, he is a Gemini. This is an Aries, perhaps Taurus card, but yet sometimes I make the mental association of Trump with it. So these are identifier cards that come out to kind of be like, oh, could this be you? But in the challenge, you have 3 people. That's something that's very clear. Whomever they are, it's very clear that there are 3 distinct people here. Now, in terms of energetically, what are these people doing? What are the energies that we're seeing? We're seeing here where we have somebody who's coming through kind of like a dictator. I'm just being honest. This is a bit of that dictator energy because I am the boss, my way or the highway type energy. It doesn't always have to lean negative. It doesn't, but this is somebody who's kind of like, this is like the dad, you know, emperor. Like, think literally when you think of an emperor, what is an emperor like? What does an emperor function as in a society? What does an emperor do? What are the expectations you have of an emperor? That type of energy. That is exactly what this card is saying. This guy thinks he's God. Like, that's who he is. Temperance is kind of the energy of like, okay, let's pace ourselves, right? So here we have somebody that's like swinging in for the fences, like, I'm God, I got it, here it is. Like, that's kind of the challenge. It's like this full force, but like, wait, you know, temper yourself. Temper yourself. I know you want to be swinging for the fences, but this is a time where you're going to have to pace yourself. Like, we don't want to go like too hard, too foolhardy. Foolhardy seems to be coming to mind. It's like this needs to be something where you're thinking about what you're saying, you're thinking about what you're doing, so you don't end up swallowing your foot. It's that type of cautious type energy, like everything happens in its correct timing. You can't push something faster than it's meant to go. That's why babies aren't supposed to be born 6 months along. It takes a full 9 months to bake. Give it time. You have to give it time. The Queen of Cups showing up is an indication of needing a bit of that self-love element to come in. I feel self-love energy anytime I see the Queen of Cups. She is the nurturer of the zodiac. You know, she's coming in here and let me take care of you. I am Mama La, you know. But you're seeing this, it almost feels like it's between two states of mind. That there's two energies that seem to be kind of coming head to head here. You've got I am God, boss up, level up, you know, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Oh God. Mama, put your bat flaps away. Sad. That was sad. I almost broke it trying to just flex. Can't be flexing on my peeps. Can't be doing it. So head to head, the energy coming up against like mama, you know, nurture, let me coddle you. So it's like two very definitive things. The uber masculine coming up against this uber feminine type energy. And it's almost like a loggerheads of like assertive versus like passive, and like let's do this hard versus like soft and gentle. And the temperance that's kind of like toggling in between these two, the temperance is almost saying like, if I'm pouring from each cup, balance my little Padawan. Balance my little apprentice between one energy and the other. So we're pouring from both cups. We're seeing both cups, but it's asking for a balance of these very different energies that I'm seeing here. And that is a challenge. That is inherently the challenge that's here. So I don't know in what ways in your own personal life you might be coming at something too hard or coming at something too soft, and you have to find the balance of when do I need to come hard and when do I need to slow it down and be soft. Like balance. Okay, we spoke of that. Next thing is kind of our universal guidance. Let's do universal guidance. Let us know. We done fucked up, AA, Ryan. How we gonna fix it for the full moon? Okay. Page of Wands. To me, that's not the most like, this is not a bad card, by the way. Not a bad card, but to me, it's kind of a womp womp feel when it's like, universal guidance. Like, what? Well, give me something else, because to me, this feels a little too baby step. You got all these major arcanas showing up, popping up all through here, and you're gonna come in here with like this little, like, kind of energy. It's like, where are we going with this, universe? Where are we going with this? Give me more, please. Give me more. The last two readings in here, it's coming up again, and it's back in the upright now. Back in the upright. All right. Un momento, por favor. Oh. This has come up before, too. So many repeats. Okay, so our Six of Cups in reverse. So we got our Page of Wands, our Five of Cups in the upright, and our Six of Cups in the reverse. Last time I mentioned the Six of Cups, but didn't say it all the way, and, you know, there it comes. So here we are. Here we are with our universal guidance. First of all, I'm seeing two cards that are indicative of childlike energy. The Page of Wands and the Six of Cups. They both kind of indicate this childlike energy, this very youthful energy, like bringing it back to kind of a childlike place. Sometimes when I see the Page of Wands, to me, it feels like get reacquainted with that natural lightheartedness, that playful childlike energy that you have within you. Like there's something that's very like sweet and innocent and naturally excited that comes along with that. You know, kids can be like, oh my gosh, my sandwich is in the shape of a dinosaur, and it's like the coolest thing ever. Like right now my kid is like, oh my god, slinkies exist, it's a slinky. Pfft. Not realizing that you touch it 3 times and you got it so twisted up to fuck that it's not going to do anything anymore. Like she hasn't gotten there and gotten disillusioned with the slinky yet. The day will come. The day will come. But it is kind of that like naive, oh, there's so much hope and promise in the world, which, you know, that's a positive place to be. But right next to it, we do have the disillusionment card, the disappointment card. This can even be the card of depression. You know, I mean, look at her. She's woeful. Woeful. So it can be a bit of a depressive energy, and you've got these two coming up face to face, you know? Again, kind of a loggerheads of opposites. We see that over here in the challenge, and even in the guidance, the universal guidance, you're kind of seeing that, where it's like, hey, you might find yourself in two different places with this, you know? There's part of you that's kind of like, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to take 2021 and I'm going to whip its ass. And then there's another part of you that's like, it just doesn't feel the same. It's not how it should be. It feels so different. I feel kind of discombobulated. Why can't I sink into the new energy? It never feels like I can get a strong footing. Like, why in the world? And so there's kind of like both, both happening. And when I see this, this is again a karmic card. And we've already talked about karma here. So karma, you know, karma is sitting. Karma's sitting. I wouldn't say sitting pretty. I'd actually say, karma's rearing its head right now, so be on the right side of it, because this isn't like karma is gracing you. Neither one of these is karma is gracing you. Both of these are karma is taking names, bitch. Karma is currently taking names. Oh, woo woo. Oh, Jimmy's talking in class, and I'ma tell her as soon as the teacher comes back. I'ma tell on Jimmy. I got it writing down. Like, karma's doing that shit right now. Okay, so stay on the right side of it. Stay on the right side of karma. But this can also be like unfinished business in the past. Unfinished business. It can also be like being too stuck in the past, too held up on nostalgia. So when I think of this as being advice, to me it feels like it's asking us to reclaim again this childlike lighthearted energy in a way where it's like find that inspiration, find the little things to get excited about and to want to try and to be happy about, so that it can kind of I'm not going to say that it's going to heal any depression by any means, but I think what it can do is keep people afloat enough that if they are feeling depressive type energies, it's like, no, this is a buoyant energy, and it's okay to do these things for yourself. You know, it's okay. You're not selfish. You're not like frivolous, bad, wrong, or anything, should not be judged in any way for taking care of your mental health needs. Putting that out there for anybody who was having any kind of like a misstep about it. But yeah, I do see this. I want to see what is the Six of Cups in reverse here for. Fine. Six of Cups in reverse. Again, this is clutching. Obviously, clutching attachment. So I don't think of this as unfinished business quite so much as I think of this as people holding on to the past far too much. Far too much. We should not be looking at the past. Holding on to the past and looking at the past, that's what's holding us here in the depressive energy. That's what's doing it. The future and the inspiration and the hope that is just sitting there kind of untapped in the future. That's what we should be looking at. That's what we need to be looking at with this full moon energy. Because we're a little too preoccupied with this past stuff. And I think being too preoccupied with this isn't the way it used to be, and you know, all that, like, we have to change. Bottom line, we have to change. The Page of Wands is also a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. So we have, in terms of players, just going to put it out there, we have two pages. Two pages. Pages are inherently about like messages and inspiration ideas. So we have, you know, physical and kind of spiritual type ideas that are here, like knock, 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 knocking on the door. And we've got a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries, Leo, Sag, Gemini, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sagittarius, all of those here. That's most most of the zodiac present here. But yeah, I don't necessarily see any of this as inherently bad because, you know, it's all up to you whether you see something as good or bad, and it's going to be different. You know, like when Trump got elected, a lot of people thought it was good, a lot of people thought it was bad. Biden got elected, a lot of people thought it was good, a lot of people thought it was bad. You know, it's to whomever is holding the ideology is how you're going to rank it. So same goes for this. I am curious to see if there is any kind of like political stuff that might evidence itself from the look of this spread, because it does kind of feel like there could be some hidden monkey wrench that, you know, curious about that. Just curious. Don't know, but curious. But overall, I'm really wanting to see whatever this hidden element is coming to light. Doesn't look like it will though, because this is keeping it hidden and this is keeping it hidden. So I'm not necessarily thinking that we're gonna see anything necessarily coming out, but that is something that I'm inherently curious about. I wonder if it would even say. Will it even say what is the hidden element? Can we get an idea of what is the hidden element? Um, okay. All I get is locked lips. Not helpful. Not helpful, tarot. This is, I'm not telling you, you can't know, you're not supposed to know. But this is literally like no communication. I'm not getting any communication, I'm being blocked. So I might be blocked from the answer of that question. So this could be like, oh, you little cheeky thing, you cheeky tarot, you, I don't know. But you know, I'm like, what's hidden? Bitch! I'm not saying. I'm not saying. Fine then, you're not saying. I get it. I get it. You're not saying. Curious though. I am curious because that is here. But yeah, unsink your teeth from how it used to be and how it was, because we're creating something new, and it's possible that people could be coming out in a very public way saying this is our suggestion for the new way. Like this is the new way we want to do money. This is the new way we want to do politics and government. This is the new way we want to structure this. Like that does seem like it's kind of like on the precipice for us. And so we got a lot of a big need to go with the flow and not isolate ourselves. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, just gonna say, this is the very first universal guidance card that came out. Check out those tights. You got yourself some like bubble tights, polka dot tights. You might fare better. He got him some polka dot tights with like, looks like salamanders on his robe. I'm telling you, man, styling and profiling. You got your little feather in your hat. It's where it's at. It's where it's at. So I went on for the longest. It's been 48 minutes. Out in the world. Okay, I know I'm going to be doing some zodiac readings soon. Pick a card again soon. Things like this. Close and personal. Close and personal. Ooh, y'all feel personal? Y'all feel like this is personal? I feel like it's personal. So, I don't care about what happens with this hair. Oh my God. Anyway, that's coming up. Curious to see how y'all interpreted the cards that came out in the spread, because I take a little bit of stabs in the dark since I don't watch the news, and sometimes I get these comments where people are like, oh yeah, this means da 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 da, and I'm like, genius, you know, because it's like it didn't even occur to me, you know what I mean? So by all means, let us know. I'm curious about all things. Talk to me, friends. Talk to me. And I will see y'all soon. Take care for now.